What is going on, Legionnaires? Welcome to At Week's End, the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics, movies, TV shows, all that good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff to talk about, and I cannot wait to do it. Got of course, the regular here, but we have a very special guest to help us unpack some of the amazing stuff that happened this weekend, and I'm sure he will want to unpack some of the amazing things that happened just minutes ago. But before we get into any of that, check this out. Go any further, I do need to say a big shout out to Big Time Collectibles. Be sure to check them out at their website, on social media, and if you did not know, you can find them on Whatnot now, Monday through Friday, Paul, 9 to 5. No,
really? Every day. It's like a BTC Daily type thing.
Oh, I get it. The DC Daily stuff they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Also, if you need anything cleaned or pressed for this holiday season or any season, be sure to check out Justin Comicx over on Instagram. You can find a link in the description below. Let him know you found him via the channel, and let him know that you found him when Durs was here.
Hey.
Oh. Surprise drops.
Hello. Yeah, I was ready.
Did you hear about the greatest brick and mortar comic shop on the planet?
Yeah, I think I have. You might have a plug for them as well.
It's called ABX Comics and Games, located right here in good old Augusta, Georgia. You can hit the description down below, find a link, and take you to their Facebook group page. They're into tabletop gaming, comics, all that good stuff. It is your one-stop shop for it. It's the oldest comic shop in Augusta, as well as one of the oldest ones in the Southeast. I mean, it's been rocking for like almost 40 years now.
That's dope.
Yeah. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button while you're here if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. Be on the lookout next Saturday. I think it's next Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, at 8 or 9 o'clock, something like that. Brian LTS will be
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock to do the CBC Award big finale event thing, announcing the winners, having some skits, some sketches, all that funny stuff. Thank you to all the Legionnaires who voted for myself, who voted for Paul. Durs is a nominee as well. So, we appreciate all the people that watch the channel, support the channels, hang out and chit-chat and all this. It really is super awesome. Super duper awesome. Really love this YouTube thing. And also, don't forget, December 1st, right around the corner, there's going to be a new owner of this Incredible Hulk 180. First appearance of Wolverine. Going to a new home. Channel member appreciation event of the year. Me and DJ are crisscrossing streams. They say never do it, but when you do, this is what happens. First appearance of Wolverine is going to a new home.
I love the fair market value is $1,002.
$1,002. I'm very accurate. I mean, what do I want to do? Lie? You want me to lie to people?
Right. You've been messing around with the new pricing apps and stuff like that.
It's not 1,001. It's not 1,003. It's 1,002.
It's like a Monty Python. I got the holy hand grenade. You shall count to 3, not 4, not 2. Let me hit this chat button, and I'm going to scroll through some of these. I'm going to have to. Whoa, I saw it right off rip. Coco loves Chevy. What is up, bro? Dude, it's good to see you, my man. Super good to see you. Hope you're doing good. You need to call me. I don't mean right this second, John, but you need to call me.
He's a little bit busy right now.
Yeah, a little preoccupied. I tried to run and close the laundry room door while the intro was playing, but it's so short, so it didn't latch. So it started swinging back open, and the dog was the door moving on its own. So now I'm stuck here with this demon dog. Ain't you? Yes. All right, let's get to it. Las Cruces 1971. What is going on? Hope you're doing good. House of L Comics sent me a banger of an AOK. There's actually a piece of it right here. That was, dude, I was so excited. Did not know what to expect when that showed up. It was super cool. Mm-hmm. What is going on? Scotty Too Hottie is in the chat. Hey, Paul.
Hey, I know that guy.
Hello.
Trev, the shipping guru. What is going on? Hope you're doing good. Papa Willie is in the building. What is going on, Papa? Brother John Comics. Hello. What is good with you? ABX Comics and Games. There they are. Evils Comics. Hello. What is up? What is up? Dagger Cards. Hope you're having a good evening. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving, especially you, aggressively relaxing. Nerd stuff. Yay. Exactly. Exactly. Let's see. Man, it's good to see Coco's name in the chat. Boom. What is going on, Pops? Well, hey there, Pops. Ryan Riley's in the chat. What's up? What's up? Oh, also, I do want to say there's a lot of new channel members over the last couple weeks. If y'all haven't gotten a new member welcome packet, I send out a free welcome packet, stickers and swag and stuff. Message me on Instagram or Facebook. Get one of them's out to you. What is going on, Phil? Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a good weekend. Let's see. Let me make it to the bottom here. I think there he is. Hey, yo. Fucking yo. What's up, everybody?
Fucking yo.
What's up, Nick? What a weirdo. The Adventurous Joe's here. It was good seeing him on stream today as well.
Hopped on with me. Hyped.
Lurking and editing. I like it. Papa's back. All right, I think I made it to the bottom. If I missed you, I apologize, but we are not sorry. We're about to get into it. There's a lot to get into. This was a massive week for comics. This is my stack for this week. We're obviously not going to get into each and every one of these because some of them are duplicates, but there's a lot of books. There's some good stuff to talk. What is going on, Derek? Hope you're doing good. And first and foremost, announcements. I'm going to start with some bad news and work our way up from there. How do we start with the worst news or just some bad news?
Third to worst.
Third to worst. The Aquaman projection numbers came in, and it's looking lower than Black Adam. Take that as good news or bad news, whatever. It is pretty far away still, but it's tracking lower than Black Adam, but better than Shazam. It's looking to hit around where the Marvels does. Where the projections are, that's no surprise to anybody. It's just literally no surprise to anybody, really. Mm-hmm. But I can't wait for it all the same. That right. Final trailer dropped, and it looked absolutely brutal, for being honest. That first one looked kind of comical, lighthearted, and this one was a total different tone. Either way, rip the Band-Aid off. Most of everybody's heard the Band-Aid rip. I mean, the Band-Aid rip is go and go for it. But are y'all planning on seeing Aquaman on the big screen?
Absolutely.
Nope. Only because I'm not an Aquaman guy. The movie does look cool. I will say it looks way cooler than my interest for the first one. A lot of the trailer was cool. A lot of the CGI was cool. The seahorse has me very excited. Hyped for that dude. What's his name?
Storm.
Yeah.
Storm.
So that will for sure be like a day one. I'm sure we'll come
Aquaman riding a seahorse with Topo the octopus hanging onto the side. It looks fantastic. That's just fun.
Check it out. I'm sure.
Yeah, as somebody who regularly says that we don't get enough Aquaman content, I'm excited for it. I think the first one, in my humble opinion, the first one is like the best movie outside of the Snyder trilogy that DC has done with the modern movies. Like, obviously, Christopher Reeve Superman the movies is goated easily, but when you get into like the Man of Steel forward, I put Aquaman as number 4 on my list. It's just fantastic. I don't know if you see the first one, Durs?
Yeah, I've watched it. I'm just not an Aquaman guy, so
that's super fair.
That's all. But it's cool. Jason Momoa, I think he's a good actor. Besides in the Fast and the Furious movie, I didn't really like him in that, but I think he's a good Aquaman, and I would like to see him play Lobo for sure.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing because he did go out on the Jimmy Fallon show. He went on the Jimmy Fallon show and doing the press circuit and all that stuff. Which, if we're being serious, I don't think that has any bearing on how well these movies do at the box office. But he did go on there and talk about how Aquaman is the final film of the old guard. Mm-hmm. And he insinuated that there is a potential future for him at the DCU, which with how social media is and how like accessible celebrities are, you don't have to go buy a magazine at the checkout at the grocery store anymore. You can just look at their social media. So everyone knows, like, even people who don't know who Lobo is, a lot more people do now because of Jason Momoa hype. But I think that's kind of counterproductive to hype the next thing kind of deal. Mm-hmm. Where do you stand on that, Paul? Aquaman 2, Lobo, Momoa?
I'm optimistic for Aquaman 2, because I don't think there'll be a lot of content necessarily out, and it's going to be a Christmas vacation, so there'll be a lot of people will be home. Their parents will want them to go to see movies, whatever, to get them out of the house. Um, I think I'm probably ready to. I would not like to see Jason Momoa just lurch into Lobo. I feel as though we're almost coming to a point where there's going to be like 30 actors, and they're going to be like in every movie.
Right.
You know,
When does Aquaman come out?
the
Random
22nd.
So the same day as Rebel Moon.
Right, exactly.
So
That's rough.
Do you think Netflix did that on purpose with Zack Snyder?
I don't know how I've been sleeping on Rebel Moon, but I just dove into the trailers for the first time, and
it looks so good. It looks so
wow,
good.
I am now a fanboy. I cannot wait. Even my girl is super hyped.
Well, just to give you the heads up so you could touch base with your LCS, there is a prequel comic coming out that'll really set the stage for that universe and that world. And what we'll be following is our protagonist. She'll be like kind of like the peaceful planet of farmers kind of thing that like he's getting sieged. It'll be following like her father's generation. Cool. But I don't know how long it's going to run for, but you might want to check that out. I love me some licensed properties, Paul. Do you know that?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, curious that they're dropping on the same day like that.
Rebel Moon got announced for that slot, and they haven't moved it, because they.
Right.
And Aquaman's moved a couple of times, so.
Streaming, you can go see Aquaman and you can stream it. So it's not like you got to wait to go see Rebel Moon. As soon as you get Aquaman, you can fire it up.
Yeah, I'll probably see Aquaman before that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I'm going to take the kids to the first viewing of that or just opt to let mom hang out with them kind of thing. I would say Pops, but he's got to come to the movie with me. Yeah, I'm hopefully going to see that on a Thursday premiere night. Wake up Friday morning, spoil it for everyone on the hangout. The kid died. I agree with TM Nerdy, Sir Timothy Nerdy, dropping truth bombs in the chat. Rebel Moon is going to be the best Star Wars project in a while.
Call me as soon as I heard Rebel Moon was announced, go ballistic, thinking it was this new Star Wars property.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it looks
dude.
That was the kind of the genesis of it, it really was, which is perfectly fine because Star Wars was originally like a Dune thought.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, great people don't steal, but they get inspired by stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rebel Moon's going to be awesome. The 2-parter. Technically, in a way, it's going to be a 4-parter, from what I understand. They're going to release the film, and then they're going to release the second part. I think it's just a 2-month gap, if I'm not mistaken. But then they're going to do the extended drops on Netflix. So they're going to milk it for everything it's worth, and I'm completely okay with that.
I'm cool with that too. Give us a Snyder.
So the first part is 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Oh, that's too short for Snyder.
Yeah. Give us a cut. He's going to need that 4-hour cut for sure.
I want to see this whole thing in its entirety, like put together, where I don't have to click between two different ones. Right. I want to see the whole thing, make it 6 hours.
With Snyder saying that the extended cut would be 45 to an hour longer.
There it is. See, that's that's what Zack Snyder fans expect from Zack Snyder, because he comes from an era. Well, he comes from an era of movies releasing with physical media still. So it was one of the things that they knew as they're making films, that we're going to release this in theaters and then we're going to back end sell physical media. So part of the selling points was getting the physical media. You could go buy the cheap DVD and get the theatrical cut, or you could buy the 2-disc DVD with the extra special features and the director's cut or the extended cut. If he's rocked with Warner Brothers, so he went through the whole time era with maximum movie mode, where you could watch the film in its ultimate entirety with Zack Snyder popping up on your screen talking about his vision and all this and that, which I highly recommend doing with the movie Sucker Punch if you've never seen it. It's just really cool.
Movie's fire.
Yeah. I can honestly say I've never liked a Snyder movie. His style just isn't for me at all. Super fair, my dude. Super fair. Not everybody is for everybody. But at the same time, I eat it up. I'm the target audience. I have
Same.
been Dawn of the Dead.
Mhm.
I remember going to see that opening day, not having a clue what we were getting into. We were just going to go see a zombie movie. They weren't so everywhere back then, and dude, changed my life.
Same.
Absolutely.
That's what put me on that train. I was like, this is, and I was going into it already a George Romero like day
Yeah,
one fan.
so that was me, was the Romero angle. I had no clue who Zack Snyder was even after I saw that movie until 300 dropped. When 300 dropped,
300 was the movie that got me hooked on Zack Snyder.
that's when the movie and the director came together like butt cheeks. Like, who just made this?
Mhm.
Who did this? Who was
And
responsible?
that explains why that movie was so good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he didn't do the second one, Rise of an Empire.
Right. Mhm.
Let's talk about Mark's Ghost Machine gear. Freaking nice, bro. Oh yeah, repping hard. I don't know if you watched my Ghost Machine video, Scotty, but I'm pushing hard for that to be a massive success with people like Scotty, with people like Paul Durs.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just got on Geiger and Junkyard Joe. I got a 9.8 Geiger on my watch list on eBay right now.
Let's go. Yeah, I stole one.
Oh, they're great prices.
Yeah, I was watching 3 other just random covers for Geiger #1, and I put in all CGC 9.8s. I put in a maximum bid of $21.
Yeah, I saw it. That was yours that sold. I saw it on eBay. Yours was one of the recent sales.
No, I didn't win any of them because I didn't. Yeah,
there was one like $22, $23 recently.
yeah, I wasn't willing to pay more than that because they all ended at the same time. I didn't want to spend $60 on Geiger #1 slabs right now. It's not a lot of money, but it's still $60 on
right
Geiger 1 variants. But yeah, it would have been if I would have gotten for 20. Like, this would be good for giveaways later. But I always stay ready for giveaways. But that's how you stay ready. You got to shop the opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Shop the opportunities. Sucker Punch was the only Snyder movie I didn't like. I heard that from a lot of people. I absolutely loved it. Scott Glenn was fantastic in it. Emily Brown was awesome. She sang the music herself in it, which I thought was dope. She's really talented. And again, that's one that dude, his vision is heavily messed with run times, and that's on him too. But you watch the extended cut of that, they take out this whole song number with the high rollers coming in that puts all the context that you need to bridge the different layers of delusion that are happening in that movie. Yep, I'm with you, Trev. Love it, absolutely love it. That dragon battle, come on, in a B-52 bomber fighting a dragon.
Oh yeah, dude! Like I went into that movie randomly. I was like, oh, this is a Zack Snyder movie. I'm just gonna randomly watch it. Had no idea, and I was like, oh my god, this is epic.
Yeah,
we haven't even mentioned Watchmen yet.
No, well, that's because we're talking like masterpieces at that point. If we're being serious, Watchmen is up there in my top 3 all times. Like across like all cinema, like King Kong is goated for me, the original 33, but Watchmen is up there in my top 3 all times. Like, I don't know, it's just next level.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch anything he puts out. I'm with you, Trev. Esteban, what is going on? He says, I'll watch. I love Zack Snyder movies. The only movie I didn't like was Army of the Dead, and I never saw the spinoff. I didn't watch the spinoff either. Army of the Dead was, I think, his weakest movie as well. Still entertaining, still enjoyable. The intro was the best part. Better than the Ghost Machine gear is Mark's Legion gear, which we found channels link. Hey!
Shameless plug.
Somebody super chat pops addict.
There you go.
Get yours today. That's right.
Right.
Yeah, it's perfect for Christmas gifts. That way I can buy my kids Christmas gifts.
Even Christmas colors.
Absolutely.
Red and green.
I do. I guess subconsciously I really do love Christmas.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Snyder's Justice League, but I'm not a comic book story mark either. Yeah. It's super good. Love Sucker Punch. Yeah, that one splits the audience. All right, y'all. I don't know what other announcements get into. They cast Jimmy Olsen. Paul, you got this?
Yeah, they cast Jimmy Olsen. It is someone that I really don't know anything about. I can't even think of the guy's name right now, but so there was that casting. There was a rumor today that possibly, I saw it today anyway. Cillian Murphy may be cast as Dr. Doom.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. That's huge. That is huge.
Dr. Doom's guy. That's my favorite. One of my favorite villains. So
That was
Yeah, I
Stan
mean,
Lee's favorite villain.
I definitely could see, especially, I mean, too bad it wasn't a Nolan movie because he's been in like every Nolan movie. He's like Christopher Nolan's like good luck charm.
Mhm.
He puts him in every movie. So there was that. Then we started talking a little bit beforehand. There was the supposed casting of a female Silver Surfer. So
And there it is, the worst news of the week.
I'm excited for the best news of the week.
So Cillian Murphy, I think, would crush anything that he's in. He's just an absolute top tier actor. Yeah. He is Christopher Nolan's good luck charm. The Jimmy Olsen casting, I think, is perfect. I think that kid has the look. He even has like the freckles. I just know him primarily from Vacation. That they did, like, it was like National Lampoon's Vacation, but it was like Russ all grown up, played by Ed Helms, and he was Ed Helms' son. It was really funny, really, really, really R-rated comedy. Superman movies are known for that, casting people that you don't know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with always loving Christmas. Not at all. We got some positive feedback in the chat for the Doom casting. Where's the feedback in the chat for the Silver Surfer announcement? So it's no. Dude, I think it's dumb. Not even going to beat around the bush. I think it's absolutely dumb. The idea of casting a female as Silver Surfer, I think, is dumb. Using one of the other heralds of Galactus, I think, is dumb because Silver Surfer is an option. So that's dumb.
What if they do it like this? Since like we talked about backstage, since my take on the original Silver Surfer was a little bit weird and didn't do him justice, wouldn't you rather have them kind of ease him into that first movie? And because I already think the Fantastic Four casting is going to be all over the place with people playing different roles. Who would we have? Pedro playing the Mr. Fantastic and stuff like that. But I already think the casting's all over the place. But what if they're going to change it up, and then the end credit scene or towards the end of the movie, that's when you get introduced to Norrad and then the main surfer and stuff like that. That way, the second one, they already have something to build upon. That way, the second one, they give him that full justice.
Yeah. So, where are you at on this, Paul? It just all is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer type of follower. So, but to me, it seems as though I don't know. It doesn't really seem right to me, and it has nothing to do with. I picture, maybe I picture the guy that that didn't do it for Durrs in the first movie, from Fantastic Four 3, but was that 2? That was 3, right?
3, I think, and then his own movie.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm really not. I don't have a lot invested in Silver Surfer, so I have nothing against her acting from what I know of her. So I'm sure maybe she'll do fine. But I'm actually more concerned about Pedro Pascal being.
That's where I'm at. I'm more worried about the casting.
He's one of those 30 people that's in every single movie and every single TV show.
He's a goat, but I don't know if I like him for that role.
It was 2. You're right. It was the Fantastic Four 2, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, okay. Right?
Taking it as a grain of salt rumor until it's officially announced by Marvel. So far, it's just random saying about Silver Surfer being female. It is just random saying. Mm-hmm. Absolutely just is. But that's why we're weighing in on how we feel about the idea of it until it's the fact of it. And this is a super solid point until they announce a director who cares, or is there really a reason they care? Because that changes a lot. But when it comes to Marvel and Disney and something like the MCU, it really doesn't matter anymore who they announce as a director. We're kind of past the point of a Joe Johnston directing or a James Gunn directing or a Kenneth Branagh directing. They're hiring any Tom, Dick, or Harry and saying, "Here, this is your script. These are your actors. Right. Go film the movie and don't worry about the action scenes. We're gonna handle that." So they don't have have directors anymore, which is part of the problem with their product. They're not getting that creative uniqueness from the people they're paying to bring it to them. You're just getting the carbon copy, like clone film feeling. But I think
there was also a rumor that Sam Raimi may be directing the two Avengers movies. But to your point, but the way Marvel runs their movies and Kevin Feige, it almost is, they're just a placeholder. It's just like they do what Kevin Feige and Disney want, and they're in it seems like the creators, the directors aren't really allowed to express themselves or except for, I guess, Taika Waititi from Thor 4.
Right. Yeah, and I saw, God, it was like a month or so ago that they pulled him from his Star Wars project. Now I'm starting to see news about him coming back to do a Star Wars project after they dropped
I
him.
saw that today too. Yeah.
I,
He said he wants to return it to the glory days of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
And what's funny is at the beginning of the week, I saw a quote from him saying that my Star Wars movie would split the audience, blah, 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 blah. And then today is when I saw I want to bring it to. So two completely conflicting comments from Taika on that one.
I think somebody, a CEO at Disney, sat down and watched the newest episode of South Park is what happened. I think that's really what happened.
Bro, I honestly firmly believe that if the current people running the decision making over there watch that, they would see, like, they wouldn't think it makes sense. Like, how did they come up with this idea? It would not click in their minds whatsoever. I do not.
And it's so spot on. It's insanely perfect. It's brilliant almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe that they can find good directors. It's not about like the name. It's about like and it's just, I guess it's just a natural progress of something as unique as the MCU, because nothing like this still hasn't ever been done except with the MCU. So it's still all a learning curve for them. There's going to be highs and lows like there are in comics. We're just unfortunately in a low overall right now with good stuff here and there, but right now they're just on a Marvel method with how they do it, and it's just the current way they're doing it needs some tweaking to get it back to like the Russo stepping in and dropping some heat, or Taiki stepping in with Ragnarok. That I know a lot of people like that, but it was still like, all in all, not using the Silver Surfer as the Herald is dumb. Because we're trying to regain an audience here. We're trying to win favor back over. This is one of your aces that you've had up your sleeve that longtime comic book fans will want to see done and done right. Some metrics for the Marvels came out, and they just found out that less than 8% of people that saw the Marvels were under the age of 24. So the target audience that they're thinking that they're playing to doesn't like their shit. They're too busy watching anime or hanging out on TikTok. Like, it's the disconnect. Like, they don't have their finger on the pulse anymore. So if the people that are willing to come watch these are the people that like Norrin Rad Silver Surfer, give us Norrin Rad Silver Surfer. If you want to do Frankie later or Firelord or whoever, but deliver Silver Surfer.
Yeah, and then the same thing with X-Men and Fantastic Four. You've got to come out with all guns blazing, and it's got to be, I think, as close to the comics as you can possibly make it, I think.
And see, I'm always going to be against that, because I want something new. Like, take what the comics build and go with it, but always give us something new, because I don't want to invest time and stuff into a new universe, a new like an MCU universe, where it's something that I could potentially just go buy a trade and read over and over and over again. That's how that's just my personal opinion.
Oh, I'm not saying that you do stuff that has already been done in the comics. That's not what I'm saying. But I think when you look at the movies that have done, in my opinion, if you look at the movies that have done well over the course of comic book movies, you have Superman, you have Batman. They have pretty much hewed pretty close to what you see in the comics. Yes, they have unique storylines and everything like that, and I'm good with that as well. Mm-hmm. But they haven't strayed too far from what the concept was in the comics. And so I think
if you go watch Superman the movie, then go read Superman comics from the 70s, you're not going to see that story in the comic book, but you will see that Superman in the comic book. Like, if you took Superman the movie and adapted it into a comic book and just made it like a 4-issue story arc, it would fit. Like, he's this He acts the same. He carries himself the same. He stands for the same values. He represents and presents the same. If you go watch Thor Ragnarok and think, man, I think I like Thor, and you go read a Thor comic, you're like, what the fuck? This isn't the same.
Who was that?
Who are these people? These are not the same people.
Yeah.
At all.
My biggest worry is we've been teased Galactus here and there. They just have to nail that, I feel. Like that has to be perfect. With whatever happens with Silver Surfer, with that, whatever happens with Fantastic Four, we need the most menacing, walking through the galaxy Galactus that we deserve. So
yeah. So Evil said that Matt Shatt, most known for his appearance on SNL, Matt Shatt is going to be directing the brand new Fantastic Four film. He has nothing under his belt really. He directed the fourth Star Trek movie.
He did a lot of the WandaVision episodes. That was what he did for Marvel.
Thanks, Matt Shackman. He didn't do the finale, did he?
I don't recall, to be honest with
you.
you.
He didn't do the first 3 episodes, did he?
I don't know exactly which episodes he did.
I'm
I just know that he did WandaVision episodes.
Like the way that it changes styles so often from episodes, and yeah, that would be interesting. So apparently they do have a director for FF, and apparently he's not proven to be a skilled worker. Not saying he's not, just saying he hasn't shown what he can do yet. Let's see what Taylor says. If you make a movie starring modern X-Men, the audience will be lost as hell. The comics are a steaming pile of hot garbage. If you made a movie starring the modern X-Men, nobody would know who they're looking at. You gotta hit the iconic characters. And that's the same thing that I'm thinking with Silver Surfer. Why wouldn't you use Norrin Rad? And if you do, why are you going to piss off the actual demographic of people who have money in their wallet who are coming in? Dude, it's like when I said, why would you make a baseball bio flick? Like let's do a movie on Jackie Robinson, but instead of a baseball player, let's make him a football player. And instead of a famous black baseball player in history, let's make him a white guy. Like it makes no sense. And they don't make him a white girl. That's what Marvel's doing with these characters. So it's just, you're losing your audience.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on, Kenny B? Hope you're doing good tonight. Unbreakable. They must be talking about some M. Night Shyamalan. They're going to make Galactus the chick.
Is that the movie with Sylvester Stallone as a superhero?
Bruce Willis, and it's not necessarily a superhero.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson was born with a bone condition that they break really easily, and he thought to himself throughout his lifetime, if I'm born with a condition that I break really easily, there must be a possibility that somebody else is out there with a condition that they don't. So he watches disasters, and he tracks like a building catches fire, no survivors, plane crash, no survivor, train derails, 300 and something dead, 1 survivor. Let me investigate that.
By the way, I just want to. I was thinking about Matt Shackman, and you know what else he directs? He directs the Apple Plus TV Godzilla series.
Oh, that's a good segue. He's a goat.
He's a goat. On board with that too.
Matt Fraction and Matt Fraction are the 2 creators, I believe. But he's directed the first number of episodes.
Yeah, this guy's got talent. He is a proven director, apparently.
Yep, same. I mean, as well.
Segue for those that didn't know, like this glorious thumbnail for this stream was this iconic imagery for episode 3 of Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. The real kickoff to the season of the MonsterVerse. We're on a roll here from Legacy. To this coming Friday, Godzilla -1 finally drops here in the States. The return of Toho, going back to a remake of the original Godzilla, and then we'll have Godzilla X Kong New Empire shortly into 2024. But before we even go any farther, we have to stop, pause, and unpack this week's episode of Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. Hence why Durs is here. He couldn't make it last week. Wanted to get him in for the start of this show's run, but he's here now.
Yes.
It's always good to find other people that are excited and into the same fandom and stuff. And Durs is right there.
Big hype.
Boom. Monarch rules. Loki Dragonborn already knows.
Mm-hmm.
Evil said, shout out to people who claim superhero movies need to be different from the comics. Thank you.
That's me.
Mike hates Watchmen.
I love the movie, can't stand the book.
Dude, what did we learn about Mike last week?
We learned something about him on Guess That Key.
Oh, we learned something on. Oh my, yeah. That's really took a big dump on the third film when they did that whole locked in the psych ward. Yeah, glass. Yeah, I guess that key was lit. All right, Durs, what did you think of episode 3 of Monarch: Legacy of Monsters? Kind of unpacked a lot in this one.
Best one so far, in my opinion.
You want me to synopsize it for those watching?
If you want to synopsize it and then throw me anything, questions or input or anything as you go.
Boom, Mike is back. There it is. Hashtag of the night. All right, so for those that are not watching, this is an Apple TV exclusive. If you do not have Apple TV, do take a look into it. They're doing a 3-month free special for Samsung users. So if your TV is a Samsung, log in through there or whatever. Just test the waters. But they do also have a 7-day free trial if you want to wait till the end of the 10 episodes and just binge watch it. But either way, I highly recommend checking this out. So episode 3, we dive into 2 time periods as we do with the whole show. In modern times, we have our primary character, Kate, trying to find out what happened with the disappearance of her father. She's now teamed up with her brother from across the world who she didn't know she had, and they're out trying to piece together this mysterious entity called Monarch and find out how their father is attached to it. It leads them to what appears to be a nursing home where they find Kurt Russell. That's where we end the last episode, and this episode kicks off with Kurt Russell excited about adventure, clearly, and wanting to know what happened to their father as well, who's like a pseudo son to him. They also touched on the fact of Kurt Russell's age, because that had been throwing me off the first 2 episodes. So I'm glad they did that. But we get a cool escape from this, what you think is a nursing home, but it's really just a sit-down facility for people that were associated with Monarch. They're all being monitored, their ankle bracelets on, all that stuff. So you get a cool little breakout scene. Meanwhile, in the flashbacks, we see young Kurt Russell, the character Shaw, working with Randa, who's John Goodman's character from Kong, and the third-party scientists. So it's like a group of 3. They've had to reach out to the government for the first time in Monarch's history for some help. They have guaranteed discovered Titans. They think that something is out there, and they have realized that they're tracing them via radiation. They learned that from the Ion Dragon in episode 2. So they want 150 pounds of plutonium. So they go back to Shaw's old boss. They show him a cast footprint of Big G, and he believes them. And he goes and he gets them their uranium. Flashback to the modern time. They're traversing, heading to Alaska, because that's where the mystery is taking them with their clues. Back in the 50s, they set up at Bikini Atoll, a famous site in the Pacific where they tested nuclear bombs. It's famous so much so that SpongeBob is a whole parody of the whole idea of it. And when they get there, they have the plutonium, but not in the form that they were looking for. There's a giant A-bomb up on a stool, and they're shocked. They go to the general, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? We didn't ask for this. And he's like, there was a really cool scene, actually, between Shaw and his superior. He's like, son, look at my lapel. How many stars do I have? He's like, just one, sir. I understand you had to go up 2-3 stars to make this happen. And the general's just like, 4 stars? Yeah, so more people are involved in this, and they took your words to heart. They said that you said that this is a global threat. And if it is, in fact, a global threat, and we can stop it here and now with the loss of no life, we have to take that opportunity. So they post up on the beach, guys in the folding chairs, just like the original stock footage, like the real life footage we have, even going back to like some of the like camera found footage stuff they showed in the first Godzilla film. We actually get to see that scene come to life this episode. It was so dope. Godzilla rolls up, one of the most epic shots you see, going up his tail. He looks down face to face with that bomb, and they blow it up, and they leave us hanging. We don't know what happens with him. I mean, we know as fans that he just ate that for breakfast, and it kind of shows design style that you expect that this really beefs him up. But that's all we see for the flashback. Super hyped. Back to real time, they find a spot in Alaska. They land. They track the clues down to downed plane. They kind of feel like it could be their dad's. They find a little base of operation and some notes that shows them that it is, in fact, their dad who was there. Before they can really dive in much farther, a Titan comes out of the ice, a smaller Titan who has the ability to scream. I couldn't tell if he was screaming or if he was inhaling and taking.
It was his tentacles. At the end of his tentacles, they would like glow blue, and it like projected the frost breath.
froze their pilot, killed him. Then they're on the run from this thing, and it cut us. Massive cliffhanger in the 1950s, massive cliffhanger in modern times. A lot of cool little details unpacked. What was some of y'all's highs and lows of this episode?
My high and low was the introduction of how the military first showed up before they even knew anything, like them kind of talking and them being like super worried. And then they're like, hey, I forget her character, but just being in the time period, it's, the 1950s with everything going on with women and stuff. He's always like Miss so-and-so, and she's like Dr. so-and-so, like always reinstating herself and stuff like that. And I love seeing that. But once the military showed up, they kind of explained everything, and they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. But then when they go inside and see the footprint, that's when he's like, and just kind of it clicks, it gives that moment. And then they leave, and then Shaw is walking out, and he's like, we got it. And they're like, got what? And he's like, basically a blank check to do anything. And then I love the little interaction where he's like, blah, 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 blah. You basically, I'm only going to report to my superior officers whatever you tell me. Is that cool? And she's like, yeah. So basically, they're going to help each other, and they're going to be fine because she's only going to give him the information he thinks he needs to know. So they're still going to help everybody out. They're still going to do their thing while working under Monarch and the Army and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool that they were protecting each other's integrity as a military officer and as a scientist, because Kiko didn't want to see something come out of their control again, and you can't expect him to lie to his commanding officer. Right. I thought that was fantastic. So they have that new working relationship so that they all stay in the know, but they protect the project. And that, you're right, that scene was awesome. He's like, I talked to him, guys. I figured this is my only shot, so I was going to throw it all. I asked for everything I could think of, and they said no. They said no. Yeah, they said no. They said I didn't ask for enough.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it was a Fleischer Studios moment.
Yep.
Yes, but what's so cool about that? Because when you stop and you look at the MonsterVerse stuff that we have, you see these massive underwater facilities, with these crazy future tech stuff. You see these giant flying stealth bombers,
and that's the start of it.
That's it. Exactly. That's it. The government's like, we'll give you everything. Like, this is real. Like, there's no arguing. Like, I think that's a cool angle, because you normally have the trope of the government holding you back and holding you down. No, guys, please handle this. Yep. Anything you need.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm also not convinced that we know exactly how Kurt Russell has stayed the way he is. It was a throwaway line, right? He said good genes, right? I think that's what he said, right?
Yeah. So when they were leaving the nursing home, they did the math, there's
more to that mystery that I think is going to come out.
He said 86 or something, I think, or 72.
Not 90s. She said you're in your 90s. How are you? You're like, good genes. So I'm with you. I think an interaction with something along the way has caused this, because if you look at Randa, he looks like he should, he aged right from the early 50s to the late 70s in Kong. Yep. But then you look at Kurt Russell, who is his peer, he looks like John Goodman's age in Kong 40 years ago. Instead of young 60s, he looks like he's in his 70s now. Dude's in his 90s in the show. 94, there you go.
Of a fan of the time swap I am. How seamless and perfect it goes with the story, and how it cuts back to explain what it just told and stuff like that. I love the time swap.
What is going on, Brian? Since Brian's here, let's do the one more time reminder. Brian's going to drop the information, but the CBC Awards finalist night announcement is next Saturday at 9 p.m. on his channel. That guy right down there. Thank you to everybody who voted. Voting's closed, but don't worry. As with any voting process on American soil, next Saturday is the end of it, but the following Saturday he'll start next year's campaign. And actually, I think he established it for the first month after it's going to be the bitching period. If you want to whine and complain, you have to hold all of that for that month to get it all out of your system.
Right. I believe he calls it the purge.
The purge. Sure, somebody will have a stream at some point too.
Yeah.
Right. Over 2,400 votes, I believe.
Holy potatoes! That's really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, dude, I have no clue where this is going. I do feel like they're making some really, they're it's so intricate how they're tying this into previous stuff, and how they're sourcing from it. Like if you go back to Kong Skull Island, when John Goodman's character went to the senator to ask for the funding to get to the island and for the personnel. The way he sold the senator who was telling him no was showed him a picture of the boat that he was the only surviving shipmate of, the Lawson, something like the USS Lawson. Yeah, so he shows him that, and if you never seen Monarch, you would assume like, yo, that boat got hit by Godzilla, you know, like the spikes got it or something. But fast forward to Monarch, you see the final resting place where that boat not only got destroyed, but it got picked up and taken into the middle of the jungle, and you see what did it. Like, so they're really taking small little things. It's just like, dude, this is so well done. It's insane.
I think the next.
Let's go.
I think the next episode we're going to see a very pissed off Godzilla, and then we're going to see that the full force, maybe not the full force, but you're going to see a very pissed off Godzilla, and that how the military is going to be like, okay, now we need to kill him, blah 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 blah, because he just got nuked in the face. He's just going to be mad. That's all. We're going to see
Godzilla going.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, in Godzilla King of the Monsters,
maybe breathing that beach is what I think we could see. Maybe beach might get breathed is what we might see.
I think he took to the water. I think that they didn't want to, for whatever reason, when they were writing this, they didn't feel like that this was the moment to reveal to Monarch that he eats it. You know what I mean? Yeah. They already know that they eat it, the radiation, but I don't think they wanted to reveal to Monarch yet just how tough he is, kind of thing.
I think it's going to cut right back because we didn't even get to see the nuke explosion, and that's kind of what I was touching on. It kind of saved CGI, save it for the next one, because it cut right after that went off. Boom, it cut.
Well, so it reminded me though, we did get a scene after that when they were all back in the hangar talking about the funding. So we know that they didn't see him because Kiko was still sad thinking that they destroyed him. Yeah, I forgot about that too. Y'all mentioned the funding part, the unlimited funding. But dude, I'm going to be I'm really excited because we're hitting very unknown territory. Because at this point, all the stuff that they showed us in the trailer for this, except for one scene of Godzilla shaking off the dirt and standing up and roaring, we have no other new footage left. That is, and we still have 6 episodes left, and the format that they're doing, like we're getting a Titan in every episode so far. We've gotten a different Titan in every episode. I think that the way they structured this one for episode 4, we can expect to get all of our Titan action right where we left it in Alaska and learn more about that guy. But I'd be surprised if they really give us much more. But my biggest hopes for this show is to see more of Godzilla's resting place that we saw in King of the Monsters. You know, like, because they touch on Atlantis in the Monsterverse, really, in a way. Because it's confirmed that Godzilla's underwater resting place where Dr. Kurosawa went down there in the sub to blow up the nuke to give him the energy to go fight Ghidorah. That was like a sunken city, a sunken ancient city. They had Anguirus's bones down there. They had all the hieroglyphs of the Titans on the wall.
Layer or whatever.
I would love to see Monarch discover that sooner because I forgot how they knew to go find it. Like, I would like to see them something with that more. When is the next movie of Godzilla or Kong? The legendary one will be, and I think it's April, if I'm not mistaken. Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, I believe, is April. But so you have this MonsterVerse stuff that we have 6 more weeks of that gets us into the new year, and then that. But if you're just looking for the next Godzilla movie, -1, which is the Japanese, dude, like it's going to be insane. It's the Toho Godzilla remake of the original. It's going to be nuts. That drops Friday.
So excited.
But I think that there's also going to be some touching. I think they're doing some like groundwork building for Godzilla X Kong with this episode and the next one. This creature that has ice abilities. Because from what I don't want to get into spoilers for Godzilla X Kong, but you know me, I tend to find my way onto spoiler stuff often. But I think that ice is going to be relevant in some of the world building and alt history building. You know, we do a lot of alternative history, like looking back and adding the MonsterVerse characters into it. I think we'll be seeing some of that.
Get a lot of that Kong history. I feel like in that. For sure.
Yes. So the early screenings of Godzilla X Kong all came back positive, and the only thing that came away sounding judgmental or critical at all was it was very Kong heavy.
Right. And you can expect that, seeing where Kong went in the last movie and seeing his whole all that be discovered and blah blah blah. You got to show us more of that.
And also confirming that Scar is a big villain in it, the great red orangutan that's like the king of Hollow Earth.
Throw me a couple hundred years back in time and run half the movie like that if you want.
Yeah, I would like to see a flashback to like a war.
Right. With a lot of Godzillas and a lot of Kongs, yeah, that'd be nuts.
The next episode, though, it'll move back to Friday. It would only was on Wednesday this week because of Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So the new episode releases on Friday.
Dude, you're such a party pooper. That sucks.
Just letting you know.
It's
I only did that for Thanksgiving.
Because Invincible's now on its break, so I need that Friday watch.
Right. I like having stuff in the middle of the week to watch. I really do.
I do too. You're right.
What is going on, Bart? Hope you're doing good tonight. All right, so I ain't got nothing else in terms of announcements. Was there anything else new? CM Punk came back to WWE. That's big news.
Randy Orton came. I mean, we knew he was coming back, but we got Randy Orton and CM Punk last night. The man, I was lit last night. I was very excited. You can say you can have your feelings of the past or whatever, but I am a big CM Punk guy.
Yeah, and I don't know how many Doctor Who fans we have, but Doctor Who made its debut on Disney Plus yesterday.
I saw that. Tony.
Is it a new series or just the catalog?
No, just the new series. At the end of the last series, the 13th Doctor came back, I believe it was. No, whichever one David Tennant was. I forget the numbers, but he came back as he was basically regenerated into the face of and the person that he was like 4 Doctors ago. And so he's in 3 specials that are releasing on 3 Saturdays, yesterday, this Saturday, and next Saturday, before they bring in the whole new
there it is. Doctor. Yep, called it. They brought the best Doctor back. Yep.
I've never watched any Doctor Who. I've known nothing. I have nothing good nor bad to say about it. I've just never watched it.
I mean, if you go way back, it's just kind of cheeky, but it was the concept of it is really kind of cool because it was like basically, okay, you know what? If the actor decides he doesn't want to come back, we'll just kill him and make his face change.
Yeah, that's smart.
So they found their way around that, you know.
It's their James Bond. Happy early birthday to Bart because he's in Belgium, so he's a little bit ahead of us. His birthday's tomorrow, so his birthday's in like 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours, 2.5 hours, at least Eastern time. But yeah, I'll tell you officially tomorrow, Bart. Yeah, I'll only watch some David Tennant episodes back in like the early 2000s.
He's the guy who's back for 3 episodes.
And David Tennant also played Purple Man in the Jessica Drew.
Yeah, he was in what's the Neil Gaiman Omens, and I can't think of the name of the thing now.
Good Omens.
What?
Good Omens, right?
Right.
And it's is it Simon? No, it's Michael Sheen. And,
Michael Sheehan and him, yeah.
Michael Sheen. He's hilarious.
Yeah. Doctor Who is great all the way through. I'm with Evil's Comics.
Not a lot of people have talked about it, but as a gamer, there's one thing in the gaming community that you stand by is when IGN gives a movie, a game, a show, or anything a 10 out of 10, you have to at least watch it, play it, give it a try, because IGN's notorious for just giving everything 7. There's a new show on Max called Scavenger's Reign, and it might be top 5 best animated shows I've ever seen in my life.
Now, is it animated or animated?
Animated, like a cartoon. It's not.
Yeah, it's not really anime either. No, you're right.
So basically, a ship crashes on an alien planet, but every living plant, organism, everything on that planet, the way they interact with each other is the most mind-blowing experience each episode. It's 11 episodes.
It's kind of like I described it as it's kind of like Dr. Seuss on acid,
bro. With a little bit of Rick and Morty, a little bit, but not the comedy or anything. It's very
exactly
the story to it and how it all culminates, because there's 3. It's like 3 separate people all on this planet. They don't think anybody else exists. Yeah, dude, give it I highly. I've
seen every episode. It was good.
Yes, it was incredible. Under the radar shows.
Any animation is anime in Japan.
You're right. You're right.
All right, here we go. April 12th is the official release date for Godzilla X Kong.
Cool.
Yep. So yeah, this is going to be huge. Going to be huge. You'll have a Kong villain, and you'll also have a Godzilla villain that will be a new entry into the MonsterVerse, and they'll be tying those two villains together and blaming the Ice Age on one of them. That's why I was saying like this ice critter.
Right.
I think that they might be trying to warm us up. Because the whole concept about it, if you look at Scar's eyes, they're blue, so he has this ability to control the first Titan,
Right.
and the first Titan is who they'll be calling down on Godzilla, and it's the MonsterVerse version of Space Godzilla. If you all have seen that, I know you got that Rivals book, right? Yeah. So
And
they'll
I've
call
watched
it down.
old. I know all the old stuff. So like, ooh, Space Godzilla's wild.
Yeah, that's kind of a big one with the crystals and all that. I wonder.
What was the right before the pilot of the plane died? He was running across the ice, and there was something like stuck in the ground with a rope. Remember, he was pulling on that rope.
Yeah, because I also and he saw that it was. I don't
And
know why it triggered him to run.
Right, as soon as he pulled it up and seen that was still in the ice, boom! That was like his instance of we got.
Yeah, I didn't get that either, and I was
Yeah.
watching for context after that, and it looked like one of the rope spikes that hold a tent down.
It looks like
No, it was
a
a spike that holds the plane in place. The way I thought of it, and what happened was when he saw that the rope was broken, he knew that something grabbed that plane and physically moved it.
Oh, okay. It didn't crash. It was parked and spiked and
I thought
anchored.
Correct.
that was attached to like something that the plane, like
Right.
maybe he shot it out to try and save
Yeah,
it.
because
He's buried it.
Yeah, because he saw that when he went running to undo his for his plane.
Right, exactly.
That means that other plane was got attacked. They just, okay. Smart shows sometimes are too smart for me. Where is Scar from? Old Kong, Hollow Earth. He's the king of Hollow Earth, and he won it in a massive OG Titan battle, and he used that Titan to do his bidding and also cause an ice age. That's how long he's been ruling Hollow Earth, since the Younger Dryas.
And fun fact, also from the Lion King.
Exactly. This Scar wasn't banging Simba's mom while he was away.
Exactly.
Well, the rope was broke. Was what it was. But yeah, there was an anchor in the thing. I thought it had more significance. It might not, but who knows?
Scar Simba's uncle, see?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. King Scar.
Yep.
Yeah, there's gonna be some good fights there. Y'all want to get into some books? Y'all want to get into some books?
Sure.
An hour in. We got Trev and Evil Mike doing their thing tonight after this show as well. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm sitting here drinking coffee, and normally I drink coffee before a show, but I'm actually rolling it in. Boom. What is going on, Mr. Beckerman? All right, I'm here. Let's end the week. You're here just in time. We're about to pull out some books. I'm just going to show like this. I'm just going to go through my haul real quick, and we'll figure out which ones you want. There's just too many to dive into. We can speed review some or discuss some. I know I want to discuss at least a couple of these, but it was issue 2 of the big crossover event of the year, Justice League Godzilla Kong crossover. This was epic. Of course, I got the connecting covers by David Nakayama and the 1 in 25 by Matina.
Best one so far.
Yeah, this was dope. Hulk number 6. Nick Klein is back on interiors. What a great story.
First appearance of the new Ghost Rider?
Yeah, Sal. We don't have a last name, but his name is Sal. Void Rivals number 6. Yeah, the finale to the first story arc. World's Finest 21. Part 2 of the return. What is this? Return to Kingdom Come.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of scratching my head on this one. I definitely want to discuss that a little bit, but the way that it ended, I'm like, yep, that makes sense. Daredevil Black Armor issue 1. I haven't had a chance to read this yet, but it's one of the Marvel retro titles, and I've been having good luck with these. If you're a fan of like Marvel 20 years ago, these retro titles are where they're at. They're just little mini series take place back in between those issues back then. Titans number 5. The interiors on that is just solid.
Mm-hmm.
The second print for number 1, the Bjorn Barons variant. Mm-hmm. Had to get that Kong one there, just too dope. Returning to the Golden Age with Jay Garrick number 2. War Journal, which is John Stewart Green Lantern #3. Dude, whole different level of comic book creating is happening right here in Wonder Woman. Issue 3 just dropped. Amazing. JSA #7. Batman Off-World #1. Superman #8. And then some of the John Jang variants.
How was Off-World? Did you read it? Is it worth me buying?
What, this?
Off-World. Batman Off-World.
Oh, I would not recommend anyone buy this unless you're like me and you love Doug Mankey. I would not have bought this if Doug Mankey did not do it. It's a Batman book.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
but it's. I mean, I'm still kind of confused. I mean, he haven't really explained how he got to space yet. Although he did meet the guy that he met in space. He met him on Earth, so I'm sure
I'll
that'll
be
play
right
out over the course of the next couple issues. But so what did you get this week, Durs? Anything?
Me? Yeah. Well, I mean, this is from last week, but it's my newest haul. I guess I missed Miles Morales Spider-Man, the only good Spider-Man book on the racks. Hawk as well, been amazing. I'm excited to read this. Marvel Super Secret here, Secret Wars Battle World. Interior looks awesome. Showed that. I've been loving these one-shots, the Godzilla Rivals. This one's Mecha Godzilla. The artwork's always by a different artist. This one's fire. I picked up a lot of DC, actually. Green Lantern. Nice. And like I said, showed you backstage. Had to catch up on my Superman. But I got 6, 7, and 8 all together because I need to catch up on the reading. But, man, I love Superman. And Spawn.
Wow.
Gunslinger. Shout out to the Lady Durs, Hades.
Nice.
And like I said, this from last week, but G.I. Joe, which was a banger.
Let's see what I got. I got the Titans as well. Mark's right. I think the interiors, Nicola Scott is just killing it. But I was a little bit disappointed in the story in some ways. If you like Swamp Thing, he's in here. But I feel as though the whole how do they save Wally West thing kind of just ended real quickly.
Is that issue 5?
This is issue 5. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I read issue 1 and 2, and then I dropped it. So it's on.
I know they're barreling towards Beast World, so they had to get everything finished by the end of this episode. But we come to find out that probably Beast World is going to be caused by Brother Eternity, who still has Garth under his control, but he doesn't have Linda anymore. There was some good dialogue. But there was, again, I just kind of felt as though it started off with a murder mystery of, they find Wally West dead. And I just feel as though it kind of wrapped up really, really kind of quickly this time. So I got that. I got, this is Off-World as well, but I got the local comic shop day, the Virgin variant of that. This is Off-World. This is Batman Off-World.
Yeah, that's a dope cover. I like that one.
Yeah. So it's, Philip Kennedy Johnson doing Green Lantern, the War Journal. We're pushing John Stewart to get back in the game. He's still kind of resisting, but we finally see another version of Kyle Rayner as well. So, Mark, what did you think of Titans?
Titans or War Journal? I walked in.
Oh, let's talk about Titans. I was talking about Titans before. I said that, like you, I really love the artwork, Nicola Scott, but I just kind of felt that the whole Wally West thing kind of got resolved like way too quickly. Oh, he's busy talking to someone else.
I'm not reading War Journal. I jumped. Well, I read Flash with Jeremy Adams, and then I jumped off with the newest run. But I am enjoying the main run of Green Lantern.
What did you think of the story?
It's pretty mellow, but it's moving.
Yeah, I was commenting that I felt as though for all of the, it started off with the murder of Wally West, that it was kind of resolved way too quickly for me in this issue. Kind of like, boom, it's done type of a thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's over. I don't think it's resolved. I don't think that's resolved, at least. It kind of felt like after this issue, it all felt like just like kind of I don't want to say cheap, but kind of a inconsequential setup for Beast World.
Yeah, that's what I think.
didn't have a big pizzazz to it or anything. I just feel like, okay, this will have something with the cosmic parasites. Maybe that'll be what triggers Beast World, because looked like Brother Eternity might not even be Brother Eternity.
Right, and it seems as though he's going to be the one that may be, the catalyst for Beast World. If you go by just the last page or whatever, but
yeah, with TM, it didn't feel like there were really any stakes there. The art is absolutely beautiful. I did like the little scene in the beginning with watching Gar get all big and tough on the people that were trying to come in and capitalize on the destruction of the rainforest. I thought that was a cool scene with them trying to shoot, and Donna just he's letting him do his thing. That was a cool little moment in their little armory on Mars as well, when Linda just goes and hits the button on the Quark Doomsday device.
Yeah, and there were some good parts too, like the whole part with Raven explaining when Gar separates into all these bees, how he's able to separate into all of them and everything, and how like if even a single bee dies, it's like a little part of him, ends up dying as well. That was kind of cool.
So Levi definitely brought in was fantastic. Him utilizing the individual Titans' specific attributes to not just grow trees, but build a sustainable ecosystem. It's not enough for me to grow trees. We have to have the light. We have to have the insects that come in to start the process of photosynthesis and pollinating and all this. I thought that was really well crafted. But again, all of these little cool little elements didn't really come together to make like an engaging overall thing. It seemed episodic. It seemed too standalone, I guess. I don't know. The way that Levi and Kamei Swamp Thing was drawn was so unique and next level, intricate, beautiful. Absolutely dug it.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I had to step away. Monkey keeps getting up, and they go back to school tomorrow. They've been out for a week, so it's kind of Monkey's giving Kyle hell. So Durs, this is a book. This is a Batman book. That's pretty much all there is to it. It takes place 1 year after Batman is Batman, and he's kind of been shutting down and locking down the petty crime in the city. And somehow, some way, one of these crooks managed to tap a resource he had and get this big brooding alien to come muscle for him. And Batman crosses paths with an alien for the first time in Gotham and gets knocked out. Batman then decides that he needs to get to space and he needs to go face off with this guy. And he's mastered all the martial arts and fighting he can do on Earth. He needs to go off-world and become a better Batman. It's dumb.
I hate it. I was
super dumb.
I was a little bit excited for it, but I passed on it until I heard people's opinions on it.
Yeah, it's a Batman. It's a Batman in title by title only. He does very un-Batman-like things, like riding around in space, trying to figure out how Zorgians fight.
Yeah. So this is what happens when a stable Marvel writer comes to DC. Thanks, Jason Aaron. Get back on Punisher.
Can't wait to see what he does with Superman.
Yeah, John said this perfectly. It just felt like a lot of neat moments, but weren't cohesive to one story. Yeah, dude, that's perfect. Perfectly described it. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens with Beast World. All right, I'm sorry. What you got next? Where were we going? Was that it? All right, so in an era of Dawn of DC where everything feels like a fresh start, where I feel like we've gone back to core characters, status quos of so many of these characters, and it's almost like that's why it's such a great jumping on point, because it's like the status quo core of these characters, whether it be Superman, Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan, all this, and we're kind of building stories from there. There's a few characters that are kind of like off in the weeds. John Stewart is one of them. I feel like Philip Kennedy Johnson took on this character who has been beat down by the last 10 years of comics, and he's just carrying around all this continuity baggage. So what they did here recently is that one-shot John Stewart book to kind of show readers just how off in left field John Stewart Green Lantern is. Owa's gone. Central Battery's gone. John is the Emerald Knight. He's like the living embodiment of willpower kind of thing. He's the guardian. Well, twist, that's not on our world. That's a different world. On our world, John Stewart's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He doesn't want to be a Green Lantern anymore. He wants just to retire on the farm. They send him upstate to the farm with his mom, and he's walking around with a construct of his deceased sister. His mom doesn't know any better. She's old. She's losing it. So John's not really in a good place mentally. Like that's you got to kind of be like going through some things to want to do that. So I've been kind of wanting this to get past that and kind of just go ahead and break through that story and get back to John Stewart. And I feel like we just started to do that with this one when they got Shepard here. Shepard was the Green Lantern that was tasked with going to get John Stewart from that other multiverse to ours. And he's kind of cool. He's kind of super cool. He gets there and you have the whole Revenant Queen and her Queen, yep. Yeah, and her dark lanterns and her dark abilities coming infecting batteries, infecting people. If you use your ring, it kind of infects you faster. And he got a touch of the infection. And Shepard was about to cut a loss, and he actually took him into this like astral plane area, like in the realm of the rings kind of deal, where he can stop the process of it infecting him, to explain what happens and say, "You're sorry, I came to get you because you're the greatest of the greats where I'm from, and now you're dead." Then, like you pointed out, I think this other Kyle Rayner that we were introduced to in those earlier books, he's like blind. He looks like a space ninja almost. Super cool. Said you can't give up on him, blah, blah, blah. So the John's out to rid himself of the infection and go for broke. So he's getting back on the saddle. It took a little attack from some otherworldly entities, and Shepard, who's just a total smartass, like a ballsy kind of character. He kind of has like the Guy Gardner vibe going for him. I dug him. So I was very excited after reading this one, more so than the first two. It felt like it hit that momentum that Titans hasn't hit yet. This one did it in 3.
Yeah, there was an extended scene that John Stewart has talking to his unconscious mother, explaining why he's basically breaking the promise that he made to her, and why he's going to be, returning back to being a Green Lantern. That I thought was done really well.
Yeah, it was really sad too, because he made that comment. I guess you won't know anyways, because she's kind of just deteriorating. It was kind of rough McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652.
Take a bite out of crime.
Yeah, I'll always remember the address for Gruff McGruff because of those commercials. Anyways, Durs, do you have any from this week you had an opportunity to read through yet? Guess not. We're moving on to Jay Garrett. There you go.
I had to run upstairs real quickly.
You're super fast.
Yeah. Did I have a chance to read anything? What?
From this week?
No, dude, I'm still like 2 weeks behind, but
it's okay if you didn't. How far did you? What did you read?
I read a bunch of Venom, and then the next thing I'm reading all these Supermans in a row.
So you're in for a treat with those. Well, I'm going to do a not too spoilerly recap of this one, because this is super important. Just from the covers that they're dealing with a new character called the Chain. It's been a knockdown, drag out battle with this new villain, mysterious character. This whole story arc has been dealing with like the skeletons in the closet of Lex Luthor from a time in Metropolis since before Superman got there. Joshua Williamson is the guy for Superman. Like he is doing a true justice to the character, delivering a story that has all the right feels, tones, and vibes, balancing the characters really well. And in this story, we see the conclusion to that fight that took place in that last issue. The return of Jamal Campbell to limited interiors in this one. There's multiple people in the interiors. And it's interesting because we get the origin of the Chained in this one as well. And it ties back to some long-standing stuff in DC Comics as well.
Yes, it was and it ended on an incredible cliffhanger. Basically with could Superman die again? Who knows?
It's crazy that a Superman title is right up there with Spawn for me as like my favorite reads of the week. And that's Superman Lost. Superman Lost has been incredible for me.
Oh god, Superman Lost is amazing. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, one thing that I feel like when I'm reading these Superman books, I feel like the 1990s Adventures of Superman cartoon.
Oh,
I feel like this is a slightly more mature comic book version of that.
Well, he's actually wearing. I mean, the armor that he's wearing today, that he wears in this issue, almost looks directly like the one from the Superman animated series.
And when we're in like super core and you see the background and just the creative choices that are being made, you could tell that they watched every episode of that show.
I've said it a lot. For my personal style of reading, you could have an amazing story, but if the artwork doesn't really fit my style or taste, it can super take me out. And the Superman books are just so. That's why I love the Chip Zdarsky run of Batman. The artwork is how dark and gritty and how prominent the line work is and everything.
Jorge Jimenez.
Yeah,
that's the Nemesis dude. That's the Nemesis artist.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, for Nemesis Reloaded.
Fire as well.
Jorge Jimenez.
Jorge Jimenez.
Right.
Johnny Boy's in the chat. What is going on, bro? Hope you're doing good tonight. All right, so taking it up a scale, Wonder Woman issue 3 by Tom King and Daniel Sampier. When Durst said the art has to be on, not just for your style, I think it has to be on for the tone of the book as well. And I haven't seen such a collaboration. Like when you hear Jeff Johns, you think Gary Frank. It's the dream team. When I heard Tom King, for years I thought Mitch Gerard's. Not anymore. Not anymore. Daniel Sampier and Tom King go together like peas and carrots. This right here is going to get awards. I'm calling it now. This book is getting awards when the Eisners comes back around. It's getting nominated. There's no way it's not.
How cool was this scene?
Oh God. Oh God. That whole scene.
Yeah.
So this book has done something very unique. Tom King always tries to find a different, almost like a different shtick for his book, whether it be splitting the plot in multiple times or like what he's done in The Killing Time, how he did like the timestamp narration all the way down to the letter for the big reveal being the Clock King, or what he's doing in The Penguin with whoever the Penguin is talking to. That's what narrator bubbles you get. He always finds a different, unique writing shtick that you don't see just in a standard comic that's every other book on the shelf. What he's doing with this one is almost like each issue is a moment, is a specific moment, where issue 2 was a standoff, a single standoff between the military coming for Wonder Woman. This one is the moment of her going to Commander Steele, who is the one who's in charge of the operation to shut down the Amazons on the U.S. soil. So the entire issue is her making her way from the street to the lobby to the top floor to have a conversation with this guy while they are just onslaught trying to stop her the whole time. And she is as calm as it gets, wrecking through this building.
All she does is keep asking, what office is he in?
It was such a great book. They have their conversation, of course, two stubborn, very, very, very strong-willed individuals. They're not seeing eye to eye in this sense. And Commander Steele was talking to her, and she kept trying to just talk to me. He just kept threatening her. I have an entire army on the way, an army that's been designed and trained to take down Superman. You think you can stop him? Well, sir, if we could just, I have an entire army. What do you have? And then in that moment, you turn the page, I have a jet. And it just,
an invisible jet, yeah.
Yeah, the invisible jet is just right there ready to mow down anybody. You're like, oh my God. And I've said it about issue 2. If you have the ability to read through a book and not panel ahead and just stay in the pocket, stay with the story, you get these amazing cinematic reveals and just damn moments. Like, it is an absolute treat.
Right. And we find that, I mean, like with the first 2 issues too, a lot of this story is actually being narrated by the Sovereign, who is telling Trinity this story. Okay. And we find out a little bit about who Trinity may actually be in this story as well.
We find out who she is specifically. We don't know who the dad is, but we also know like that they made sure that canon is correct. They have, like I said, we're going back to basics. We're going back to the status quo. Diana is made of clay. Amazons do not reproduce.
Right.
Yet here's Trinity. And they confirmed that Amelia is Trinity's mom. Right. Amelia, they confirmed in issue 2, is the warrior that was responsible for the massacre in the bar that set off all these events. So Trinity is the daughter of the guilty one.
Right.
There's a really fun backstory written by Tom King as well when you get a young Trinity hanging out with a Damien and John Kent. And it was a great little banter between Damian and John about what the S on John's chest stands for, because he's not Superman. Your dad is Superman. I'm Superman now. Your dad's Superman. It was great. It was really fun. Proper little backup story.
Yep. Where they basically have to babysit Trinity.
Here we go. What does the HNN supposed to sound like in comics? I don't know. There's just
I'm just not reading Wonder Woman, but it sounds fun.
Yo,
it is. It's really good.
Next level. Jay Garrick, the Flash, with another phone one. I'll speed through this one real quick. It was just kind of getting.
I get it. That's funny. I'll speed through this one. That's funny.
Getting settled at home. Judy realizing, and Jay and his wife realizing, you got to let her get out a little bit. Stargirl comes to pick her up, take her to the mall to really show her around and get an idea of what the world looks like now. Get some modern clothes, this, that, and the third. A villain from their past that they fight in the beginning with an awesome scene with the JSA pops up out of nowhere in the mall, attacking her. Jay went into the mall to check on her from afar to not spy and pry, but has to get involved in the battle to stop him. And then there's a little bit of contention between Judy and Jay.
And there's for lack of a better term, Cocaine Bear shows up.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah. It's actually Robert, I think is the person's name. Hi, Kyle. So you read this one, right? Durs?
Yes.
What'd you think?
It's great. I'm just hyped to see where it goes. I love the first issue, how they found the island with all the villains and stuff like that. And I'm just hyped to see where it goes, because going in, it's just Superman versus Godzilla, you feel like Superman's just going to fly right through Godzilla and that's going to be the end of it. But no, that's not anywhere where this book went.
Exactly, and that's what I wanted to talk about, because the last panel of the first issue made it seem as though, okay, you know what, we're going to get this slobber knocker between Superman and Godzilla, but it's rightly pointed out in the second issue that that's not what Superman is. Superman wants to find a way to control this thing and not have to kill it, and not have to beat it to a pulp.
Of course, that's what Superman wants to do,
because that's what he does. That's who he is. And so I think that was a great way to take this for those people who were looking for the knockdown, drag-on fight. Maybe we'll get that later on. But
I think we're still going to get it.
Yeah, at some point.
Talking this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got into some very fun, very respectable.
Yeah, I'll show it again.
Conversations and some chats when Screenreader, IGN, or whoever posted about the first battle between Superman and Godzilla had a definitive winner. It's not who you think. People are like, oh, Superman will fly through them. Well, Superman can't fly through a lot of things. Can't fly through Doomsday. Can't fly through Mongol. There's a lot of people Superman can't fly through. And one thing people don't think about is Superman meets problems where they're at. He's like a Power Ranger in that sense that it's your job to never escalate. You meet it where it's at and try to de-escalate. And Superman's first priority was, hey, big guy, the sun's getting real low. Maybe you should go back to the ocean where you're away from the city. And then, of course, the job was to protect people. And then you had, unfortunately, some hot-headed people coming in and trying to stop him. I thought it was cool having Captain Marvel, or the Captain, land on his head and call down the lightning. But then it put him in danger, making Superman to have to just eat that atomic blast. And it was just too much for him. We've seen what a nuclear blast can do to Superman. It rocks him. It massively rocks him. And that's what he just took a focused one onto his back.
I like Batman being the giant bat, though. I thought that was a good touch.
So Superman is not faring well this week in some of his issues. So
no.
he's down for the count in a couple of them at the end of
that last page is a nice shot for sure.
He was roasted.
I love the Godzilla's look in the book too. How evil and menacing, and because I'm a big Godzilla, killing Godzilla, heel Godzilla. That's the kind of Godzilla I like. So
nice.
The whole secondary storyline with the Bat was super dope. Seeing the Bat family operate with Cyborg and everything, and the way that they work together with Black Canary to analyze the high-pitched scream of the Bat, reverse it, engineer a device, and then let Black Canary lay it back at him and drop him. Dude, that was dope. I really enjoyed it. This was a great issue. Pacing was great. Good action scenes. It was only missing one thing.
What's that?
The giant monkey.
Yeah, we're waiting for him. We're waiting for him.
Coming.
So he's
It's
going to
coming.
come in. He better come in with like some kind of pizzazz. Because how many issues is this going to be, guys?
I thought it was. Is it 6 or 10? It's one of the two.
I think it's 10.
Okay, that's a little bit better. Give me as many as you got.
Same.
Give me as many as you got.
It's fun. I recommend reading it for anybody. Even if you're not a Godzilla fan, just read it.
Can I just say that now? I mean, we're 7 issues in, and we're just about to get now the Legion of Substitute Heroes in Justice Society America. Only Jeff Johns could do that.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
A lot of good Grundy stuff in there. A lot of good Dr. Fate stuff.
Sorry. So they're kind of calling back. I thought it was pretty cool to what we saw earlier with where Huntress is from. She's on like a 3rd, 4th wave of JSAers where reformed villains are on the team, and she's now on our Earth and she's trying to get settled and she's wanting to do some of the same things. So what the first thing she does is let's go get Grundy. Grundy's a good guy. Grundy's a guy. He can be good, he can be bad. Doesn't work out well, and unfortunately the Salem, the would-be protege of Dr. Fate, who's very, very angry that Kent is not Dr. Fate. She's not a fan of Khalid at all. She's just trash talking this, that, and the third. She decides to remove the curse off of Solomon Grundy because they can't stop in the fight, and actually kills him, which is fine. That's might be what if it's after all, it's Saturday. I'm like, yes, died on a Saturday. Let's go, dude. That was so wicked. But then we just kind of get into like we gotta shut her down now. Like she's just kind of off the rails. We see other team members going to Icicle Jr., which I think is cool, especially if you watch Stargirl. Good to see him again. He didn't fare too well over there. But it was just kind of a building team and giving these villains these opportunities, these second chances. Where's TM at? Because we even went and talked to Eclipso. That didn't work. It's just kind of a hectic issue, really. There was really just everyone bouncing all around. Just the JSA is not settled. It definitely felt like a first issue in a story arc. I don't know what's going on with the Legion of Substitute Heroes, but it was hilarious. That poor guy who turns to stone, but he can't move when he does.
Right. And we're promised that we're going to see the Red Lantern next issue as well, too. So. Looking forward to all of those. That's all of mine that I had.
I need to catch up on a lot of reading, man.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, it really is. It's like to carve out time is like, just to do this, just to read it, so that I at least have read something for Sunday night is sometimes.
Shout out to the people that are consistently doing like reviews and stuff like that. Like because like for real, like I'm the type of person, like if I'm sitting around at home and there's stuff going on, I can't just, like sneak away and just sit and read. It has to be like late at night when there's really nothing going on, no distractions, stuff like that. That way I can really get into the book and really appreciate it. Mm-hmm. I like to read multiple issues at once too. I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah. How about in the chat? Do you guys have any books that stood out to you this week at all?
Man, my favorite read of the past couple weeks has been Deviant by Image Comics.
Was that good? I haven't read it yet. But that's James Tynion, right?
Mm-hmm. Fire. Get you nice and set for the holiday spirit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Because like Santa Claus is in it too, right?
It's a serial killer who dresses like Santa. So, yeah, it's definitely a mature read. I will say that.
Seems like he would be on the naughty list.
Yeah, he definitely would be on the naughty list.
Well, while we're waiting, what do you got coming up on your channel this week? So we can do
tomorrow, I still have to film the second part of my video as soon as this wraps up. But I won a slab and a couple bucks, and then from Taylor Winder's giveaway that I'm going to be showing off, and then unboxing some Hero Clicks. Wednesdays are random until I get kind of a series going on. I want to have a main series for Wednesday, but right now it's just kind of random videos. Friday Positivity every Friday. This Saturday I'm going to GalaxyCon in Columbus, which is it's a pretty big con. Going to be meeting like the voice of Master Chief, voice of Chris Sabat, Vegeta. There's a whole bunch of like Jenny Frizen. I'm going to be getting a bunch of books signed by her. A bunch of other creators and artists are there, so I'm going to have a bunch of footage from that. And then Sunday Night Sesh.
Nice. Nice.
Just trying to get through the holidays.
We are skipping our DC deep dive for this week. I know we said we would be back this week, but we're actually going to be back next week. But I got an AOK from the Norris brothers, from Digger Jim and Brother John, that I unboxed, and so that will be actually coming up on my channel on Wednesday night at 9:30. This is not a Guess That Key week. Next week is. So a week from this Wednesday, we have Chris the Comic Vet and Taylor Winder will be on with us.
Nice.
In 2 weeks. And then
Chris, go Birds.
2 weeks after that, we have our big Guess That Key Christmas special. So
nice.
That's one, if you've seen the show, you know you don't want to miss.
Nice.
This week on the Legion of Comics, for all the Legionnaires, the Black Friday Madness vlog is tomorrow. I didn't realize I made a vlog until people started commenting on the video. It's pretty much a vlog, but I had a blast making that video. And then looking at part 2 of the Affordable Keys, we're doing licensed properties. That'll release tomorrow for channel members, the 106 strong channel members.
Nice.
Sitting at over 100 right now. And yo, J-Man is in the building. Just a quick hello. Got to go early day, but I'm getting hyped for Godzilla. I watched Destroya today. Just got to get some hype going. Yes, dude, you missed a lot of Godzilla talk this stream. We dove deep into Monarch, and we just finished talking the Godzilla Kong JLA crossover issue 2. But yeah, Friday. But yeah, tomorrow for channel members, Wednesday for everyone else. Part 2 of the Affordable Keys. The market is down. Like to just draw some awareness to some fantastic books that people might forget about, because there's so many fantastic books out there. Last week I did some modern DC books. This week, licensed properties. Yes, Monarch.
Speaking of great books and 106 members, they might be able to win something next week, right?
Oh, I'm glad you said something, Paul. Yeah, so this is the last Sunday of the month. That means next Sunday we'll draw for the November Legion Loot giveaway. Shout out to all the channel members. Again, 106 strong. If you are in the Legion tier, you're entered into the monthly appreciation prize. December and January will be combined into one. We'll draw for it the first week in February, which will be the first appearance of Wolverine and an Incredible Hulk 180 and a CGC 8.0. It's over a $1,000 book. So one lucky channel member will be walking away with that. But this month, there's still a prize to be had, and that's this right here. So let's go through this real quick. This is the month that we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of the return of Superman. So just like I did with the anniversary for the death of Superman, we're going in the style of the big guy. So we have the foil goodness version of said return book going in there. I'm going to burn through these a little bit faster. Let me do this too. So that's like a $12 foil wraparound. And then I thought about this as soon as they announced they got all 4 of the new die cuts. You know, John Jang Cyborg, the Eradicator, Francis Manifold Superboy, and the Steel. Got all 4 of those $10 books a piece. Then we got the originals. Got to have the originals. Love those guys. Because the Marvels came out, you know, we got that second appearance of Monica Rambeau. We also have the first appearance of Monica Rambeau. Those are going in there. Because we'll be tied up with the Incredible Hulk 180 thingy, we're going to miss the Aquaman month. So the first appearance of Blue Suit Aquaman will be in this month's. Then because the Planet of the Apes trailer just dropped, and you know that's going to be a big deal, we got that John Jang Planet of the Apes variant. And then, of course, we have the big-time collectibles exclusives going in there. Gwenverse, issue something. Miko Spider-Man, issue 11. World Tree Heine variant. Inya Kali Star Wars Yoda, number 1. And the always amazing Bjorn Barron's Joe Fixit, number 1 con exclusive. And again, we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of Return of Superman, so you got to have the original. There it is, the one that made it. The white poly bag. The first appearance of Steel. The first appearance of Superboy. wrapped up tight in this poly bag with all the good stuff still in there. But that's not all. One more thing. I had to get the slab here, and it got here. That same book out of the poly bag in a CGC 9.8. So you can own a first appearance, John Henry Iron Steel, Connor Kent Superboy, in a CGC 9.8, massively undervalued key, and get it. Got it all in there. So you'll be set. You don't have to crack the slab to read it. You got all the other good stuff. So that's going to be drawing for the winner next Sunday right here. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Just amazing. Always amazing. Everyone.
Fire. Yeah, always.
I don't know what that stack of stuff is worth. I actually tallied up one of these giveaways one time, and that was the Death of Superman one that was at $450 something.
Damn.
And I did add up just because Nick pointed out when I did it. You know when they did the Hero Initiative special edition for the Justice League Avengers crossover? That was a $300 book when I gave it away. But I ended up with a couple of them. Well, I got one through normal methods, and I went and bought another one from somebody for $75 to give away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I try to do what I can. Oh yeah, I'm putting these in there too.
That's right.
I got multiple sets of these rings, so the rings are going in there too.
Oh, Tom Brady rings.
Someone can recreate the cover of Green Lantern 55, was it? I think.
About to get that cover signed, probably at GalaxyCon by one of the creators.
But I appreciate everybody coming by, hanging out, and watching. I appreciate Paul as always. Durs, thank you so much. Hope you'll be here next week to dive into episode 4 and talk some more BS with us, man. Until next time.
And -1. Yes, sir.
Oh, dude, yeah. Next week's going to be a special episode. We'll be a -1 special. I wonder if anyone else is going to be seeing it in theaters time of release. I'm going to have to tap the community and ask. Legion Loot is too good. It's so good, folks. Ain't telling my friends about the channel to increase the channel. That could be a thing. I should probably promote it myself a little bit better. But yeah, hope everyone has a good night. Until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion. Let me find a little thing to push. I will push this one. All right, just left Dead Media. Trying to get a little bit of footage as the crowd cleared out. I'm going to show you these now because I know Finn's going to take them, and you